It's called Philly Rescue Angels. I know these people personally. These women have put themselves in some really, really terrifying situations going to rescue these animals. They've traveled across state lines to get dogs. They are doing tremendous work that I don't know that I would be able to do, because I would be heartbroken every single day. And I know that they often cry themselves to sleep from the situations that they see and just encounter almost on a daily basis.
But we don't want to take him to the shelter, and we're left to keep your dog. Do anything to keep your dog, because I'm telling you, that's where your dog wants to be. It doesn't want to be with a rescue or in a home that it doesn't know, or a shelter scare. Keep your dog. Just try.
Attachment, like you have that much of a detachment from any kind of care and compassion that you could just literally act as though it's like, oh, my bottled water, I'm going to throw it in the trash. It's the same thing as the dog. Like, oh, sorry, we can't take it. We really want to. Like, that's insane. You know, I know that you guys are like flooded with bills. I can't even believe half the things that you guys do, like, and your hearts are still in one piece. That would be a fucking disaster every day.
There's not even a way to make the amount of animals that get in, like that get dropped off and intake is crazy. People need to do better.
Leila Centner is Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Centner Academy, a progressive independent happiness school that combines a deep commitment to emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and happiness with a challenging curriculum featuring language immersion, entrepreneurial thinking, problem-solving, creativity, and collaboration. Using a strengths-based approach to learning, all Centner Academy students and teachers have opportunities to do what they love across the curriculums through project and problem-based learning. The Academy's mission is to promote happy, thriving students, rigorous curriculum that engages students, mindfulness and emotional intelligence, very important, effective foreign language acquisition, project and problem-based learning, entrepreneurial thinking, and personalized learning journeys. Habits to optimize neurodevelopment. The list goes on and on. I'm super excited to have Leila. She's been traveling all over the country the last, 2 years that we've been on this freedom movement, and then decided to open this center. So I'm super excited to have her today to ask her a million questions about where she feels that this is going with education, and the fact that children are actually learning things and skills that they're going to be able to use for later on in their life. You know,
it's insane. I mean, it's insane. And then the more insane thing is they're having this same conversation about us, saying we're insane for not just complying. What's wrong with these people? Why can't they just comply?
I was looking up, I just Googled your name, and what came up? Forbes articles, Vanity Fair, idiot school. I don't remember what the title was, but I'm just like, what? I mean, there is stuff for me in the BBC, Cosmopolitan, all that stuff, crazy yoga, QAnon conspiracy theorists, all that nonsense. And you're just like, this information is really out there. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's my badge of honor to
It
wear.
is.
The fact
that
that Forbes and Vanity Fair actually took the time to create a spread on me means that I'm on the right path.
100%. Absolutely. Because I was reading about it, and they're like, that you mentioned, because I've had issues with this too, and that blew up on Stu Peters' show, which I never really thought it was going to, but talking about like having bleeding after I was around vaccinated people, and it happened to be on 5 different occasions. So it's not just like this girl's a quack and a crazy person, but people all over the world were reporting about the menstrual issues. And I saw it in the article, and they're like, this is not scientifically proven, blah, blah, blah. Nothing is scientifically proven that's going on right now.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, well, but I mean, that just, as you said, that just goes to show that you were on the right track.
Exactly.
And your whole school mission, like, how did you when did you like come up with this? I mean, it's insane. It's brilliant.
So this whole thing started because I had two little girls, and I just thought, you know, I don't want to put my kids into any of these schools. And I was an entrepreneur. I'm still an entrepreneur. And I thought, okay, how about just hire the best educators and guide them onto the philosophies and the vision and the mission that I really want the school to have. And that's how it was born.
Wow. I mean, most people talk about these things, but no one actually just opens their whole own academy. That's like so cutting edge. And I think it was about 15 years ago, I went to my coach when I was dancing for the NBA, and I said, I want to have a school that implements meditation in the morning and yoga for these kids. And, you know, they need an outlet to deal with life, deal with their family issues and all kind of problems and stuff. And I had no idea where to start. So like, that was an idea, but you actually manifested this into existence.
Well, if you move to Miami and you want to help us out and deepen our mindfulness program, you know, we're here and available.
Yeah, I was talking to Monica about that. Like, that is a dream, you know. So thank you. I would love to, because you guys are like my squad. And it's really weird during this time, like we all really found one another. Had this not happened, like none of us would have had do anything. Like, we're speaking at different places, and I know that you're doing so much with traveling and speaking at different events and stuff like that. So it's just been an honor and blessing to like meet people like yourself that are really talking the talk and walking the walk with this whole thing.
Yeah, I say the same thing to my husband. I'm like, you know, I would have never met so many amazing angels walking this earth had this craziness not happened. I mean, I was pretty much in my bubble. And so COVID really brought us all together.
It sure did.
It really
Would
did.
you have done this had this not happened, do you think?
Oh, I started the school well before
I
any
didn't
of
know
this
that.
happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
I was already on my way. But
Okay.
when all of this happened, it was like, wow.
yeah,
Like, I am so thankful I have a school, because if I didn't, there is no way in the world I would even consider putting my kids into any other school.
yeah. I mean, it was purely chaos. Imagine having to send your child to school with a mask on or any other
Oh my
crazy environment.
gosh.
Like,
Our
how could you
critical
look at these
race
kids' faces?
theory,
Yeah,
teaching these kids that if you're white, you should feel bad about the color of your skin. I mean, all these crazy things that they're teaching kids these days, you know, you could choose your gender. I mean, the list goes on and on.
but I thought it was like science. I mean, isn't our gender or our biology, isn't that considered science, that you think that you could choose what?
I don't know. The new Supreme Court nominee says that she's not a biologist, so she can't define a woman.
It does blow your mind. It really does. Well, it's like, okay, well then why do we need a woman if we don't even know what a woman is? Then why do we need to appoint a woman if we don't really know what one is?
Exactly.
Just appoint a cat or a dog. I mean, what?
She was
Where
so
does it all-
disappointing.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
It really is. It's insane. Are you
And
still
how-
doing? Go ahead.
And how people can listen to that, to the line of questioning, and think, oh, this lady would be great for the Supreme Court. Like,
Right. That's what I don't understand, because people that think with logic, like you and I, you have all these people that are literally addicted to the news stations, and anything that they give them, they literally are just mind poisoning them and manipulating our existence to try and make you feel that this is normal, that your child should.
yeah.
Some woman there was a TikTok, and this woman's like, her baby was 6 months old. She's like, my baby's gay. And people were like, how do you know? She's like, I just know that my baby is gay. And it's like, why is this so important? Like, where is this all coming from? And obviously it's part of an agenda. That's very obvious, but in your right mind and with logic, how can you defend this or go along with it? I don't know which is worse.
No, it's, you know, it's satanic.
Yeah.
That's all we could say about it. It's 100% demonic and satanic. It's not normal. Anybody who believes in God and loves God knows that this is just not right. It is not right to be pushing sexualization on kids, on babies. I mean, it's sad.
Very
A
insane.
5-year-old should not have to decide if they want to play with GI Joe or Barbie because they don't know if they're a boy or a girl. Like
Right.
it should not be a topic of discussion for a 5-year-old. Like
Right.
my 7-year-old I would never even dream about having this conversation with her.
It's so perverted. Like it's just,
It's perverted. I mean, she doesn't wear dresses, and that's okay. She
right.
doesn't wear dresses. I don't say to her, "Oh, is it because you feel like a boy? Would you rather be a boy?" Like,
Right. Right.
no, I don't do that. She likes to wear, makeup. She loves her long, beautiful hair. And
Mhm.
so she just doesn't like dresses. And that's it.
Ah, it's just insane. So with all this being said, what does your curriculum look like in your school? And I mean, I'm sure that the parents are loving everything that you're doing. And I know Monica mentioned you have a farm now. So you want to talk a little bit about both of those things?
Yeah. So, this is our 3rd year in business. We have almost 300 kids. The foundation of our school is about mindfulness, emotional intelligence. Our food is gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, non-processed, non-GMO. By September of next year, we're going to have way more of our food being from the farm. And we're going to have built our greenhouse, hydroponics, aquaponics, as well as a regenerative growing.
Oh my God.
We're building a curriculum from the farm that's going to be infused into the school, field trips. Really trying to get the kids to teach them how to critically think and to think outside the box, and to, really just be future leaders that can leave with a open heart and love and connection and peace. It's a process. It's a process because, as we live in this world where, there seems to be a massive deterioration in humanity. Because they've removed so much social emotional from schools.
Yeah.
It seems that people don't know how to manage their anger. They don't know how to manage their emotions. They don't even know how to take responsibility for their emotions or their outbursts or their actions that are causing harm. And you just see that prevalent everywhere, especially watching Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like, so we're trying to bring that back and really focus on the social emotional aspect of learning. We're trying to focus on, like our kids do sound bowl healing once a week. They meditate every morning. Like all of these things are just critical in the growth and the happiness and the success of our kids. It's really a mind, body, and soul experience.
Oh my God.
And as any startup, it's a work in process, right? So we do something and we're like, oh, okay, we need to tweak that a little bit. That worked really well. Let's do more of that. Like sound bowl healing we used to do every other week, but the kids were just coming out of sound bowl healing feeling so energized, feeling so amazing. They're like, do we have to wait? Do we have to do this every other week? And so we figured out how to give it to them every week. It's just it's seeing what's working right and what's working well for the kids and how to improve on that, the things that are not working right or well, how to fix that. I mean, it's really just, that's the way businesses are. Even if you've been in business for 10, 15 years, if you're not adaptable and if you can't change, you're going to be lost and you're going to be gone pretty soon. So it's about being innovative, staying on top, never really settling for, oh yeah, this is working, so let's just keep it. No, that's working. So how can we enhance it? How can we make it even better? Like that's the mindset, where change is good. Change is not the enemy, it's our friend.
I mean, you see in regular schooling, we've had the same curriculum from way before that I was even in school. My nephew has the same curriculum. He goes to a Catholic high school, learns absolutely nothing, could care less. I mean, these are not any skills that he'll be able to use except for obviously like writing or math. If you want to go into whatever else, it's pretty much good luck. So the fact that you are an ever-changing, evolving, new type of schooling that is teaching these kids about all these different sensories that we have, like especially the sound bowl healing. I did my first sound bath probably 3 or 4 years ago in LA. And the way that it stimulated my mind, like I was going to jump out of my skin. So But the sensory overload for me was really overwhelming because I've had so many different emotional things and traumas happen to me and stuff. So the fact that these kids are starting so early to really utilize those sounds and just open up different parts of your body, you're setting these kids up for success, not only in the professional world, but in a spiritual and emotional and mental way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I believe. I mean, look, I started my spiritual journey at like 40 years old.
Mhm.
Well, I've started the self-help journey at 18, and that got me the success on paper, right? You know, the straight A's, the, you know, CFO by the time I was 29 years old.
Wow.
But my true inner peace, my true success, my true happiness didn't hit till I started my spiritual journey, which was around 40.
Yeah.
And that was like a lightning rod, you know, it was just like, wow, like everybody should be learning this stuff. Everybody should be learning the power of your mind. Everybody should be learning how to, you know, own your emotions and how to, you know, understand, you know, when you play the victim, when you play the blame game, your soul will never evolve.
Yep.
Like these are such valuable things that I thought, why did I wait till 40 until I learned this?
Right.
And so we're trying to bring this back so that way these kids are learning these topics at a young age and really just understanding that if they want to be invincible, they can. If they want to achieve whatever they want to achieve, it's possible, especially living in the greatest country, you know, on earth. Like, yeah, there are people that have moved to the US with $1 in their pocket and, you know, are now extremely prosperous. So how is that possible? It starts in your mind. You know, Napoleon Hill said it himself, and Think and Grow Rich. You know, if your mind can think it and conceive it, it can achieve it.
Yep.
And so really just to get these concepts into kids' hands at a very young age is our philosophy here.
Did you have pushback with your curriculum from anyone? I mean, how did that, like, how do you just start, you know, I'm going to start my own school. Does it have to be passed through any, I don't know.
Well,
Like-
we're NIPSA accredited.
Okay.
And it, you know, to be accredited, yes, it's a lot of work. But at the same time, there is a lot of flexibility in what you're actually teaching, as long as you're meeting the certain parameters that they want you to teach.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So
Yeah.
what would a day at your school look like?
well, it's different for the different grades, but the morning starts with mindfulness, and every day kids get to do physical fitness outside. They obviously have recess, which playtime is so important. They alternate between art and music. And like I said, we've got once a week sound bowl healing in there. We've got some computer classes, and we have different electives on Fridays and a language class. But it's not so much the classes, you know, how the class is being taught. You know, how we want to push the kids to critically think. That's the most important part of what we're trying to do.
Was it difficult to find teachers that would be great for these positions? They're so used to a normal curriculum. So
yes, it's very difficult.
I would imagine that.
It's difficult, and it's difficult because you really need that open-minded, out-of-the-box thinker. Somebody who can basically just be okay with not being given a book and saying, oh, okay, I need to just go page by page. Like, that's not what we do.
Right.
Like, okay, here are the standards and here's the guidance that you need to meet per the accreditation. How you get there, you know, is a different story. Let's give the students options. Let's let them do project-based learning. Let's let them present in different modalities. Okay. Can they present using a PowerPoint, or they can do an essay, or, you know, different ways for them to present the same information. So it gives them choice within.
Right.
So
is there like a morning meditation with the entire school? Like how, I'm just so curious about like the whole lineup and just the way that you formulated all this.
Well, you got to come visit us. You can check us out.
I can't wait, honestly, because Monica's telling me about all this stuff, and I'm like, this is a dream. Like what you've created is a dream, and I'm sure it's been one of yours, especially since you have 2 kids. But just to bring it into reality and see the progress and see like this whole generation of kids that you have are going to be these little masterminds.
So we did something fun with our 4th through 8th graders, because I'm obviously big into entrepreneurship. I feel like it is the future. And when these kids are 18, they might not want to go to college. Who knows? But if they've got a background in entrepreneurship, they've got the freedom to create what they need to create, right? And so we did like a Shark Tank where the kids got to raise money.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then every month the kids have been doing a marketplace.
Wow.
And in this market, they've been selling their own goods and services. And it's beautiful to see them come together as a team, collaboratively, which is what you do in the real world, and sell products.
What?
It's super cool, and make some money and make money and feel how it is to make money. I like to give an example of what one group did. They were selling lemonade on our first market, and it was a very hot day. No one else was selling lemonade. So they had a huge line, and they looked at, their 7 gallons of lemonade that they had. And they were like, oh my God, we're going to run out fast. So they were selling the lemonade at $2.50. Halfway into it, they doubled their price to $5. So I was like, you just taught yourself the basics of economics, supply and demand. You just taught yourself supply and demand. Like, I mean, I didn't learn supply and demand till I was like 20 years old. How cool would that have been to learn it? This particular group was in 8th grade. As an 8th grader, hands-on, and like feel the concept and truly understand, oh, that's what supply, that's where the intersection of price, that's where that point is at. And they ended up selling out right at the end of the day. So they priced it perfectly, that just enough supply was met with demand. It was perfect.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I had chills the whole time that you were saying this to me, because it's like, this is what the future can be for many, many generations. And I don't know if you even know how impactful that of a human being that you really are by what you're doing for an entire generation of kids. Like, we need 1 million of your schools. Like, how do we do that?
Well, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a curriculum team to help me put this all in writing, so that way we can get this out to other schools. So if you have any listeners out there that are in education and they want to be part of our curriculum team, or they want to be part of our, just teacher staff.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to put my website up there, Centner Academy,
of course, yes.
With 2 N's, Setner with 2 N's, Centner Academy.com.
Got it.
They can click on the careers page, and they can see all our available openings. You can also check out our Instagram, which is Centner Academy, just again, CENTNER.
Okay.
And you can just get a feel of what our school does and what we offer, and the things that we do on a daily basis, or just fun activities that we do with the kids. So,
do you guys do any manifestation stuff? Is that incorporated into any of their learning yet?
We've done a little bit of manifestation stuff, but we absolutely need to do more. That is something that I'm a big believer in. I mean, I've done it. First time I watched The Secret, it was like, everything to me, and it works. Like so I found my husband,
Oh, I love it.
I put a vision board together, and it was really, those things are critical.
It's just really interesting. And all these things that you're talking about to a normal person is, your phone probably rang again, is very foreign. So the fact that you have a whole school full of children, of 300 kids that are learning this, and they can pass these things off, maybe their parents aren't even aware of this, is really going to be changing lives. And it's just going to multiply. It's going to have a rippling effect with all the things that you're teaching these kids. Most of the kids parents probably don't know the stuff that they're learning with you.
No, that's true. We
It is
actually had Jason come here last year and teach the kid some vision boarding and some manifestation. It was super cute.
Oh my God, I love that. How did they receive that? How were they?
They loved it. You know, kids are sponges.
Yep, they absorb
They're
everything.
ready to learn. They're
Yep.
absolutely ready to learn. They're ready to grow.
It's incredible.
This
How
is
did you-
why,
Go ahead.
you know, the other schools that are doing all these psycho indoctrination stuff,
Yeah.
you know, the brainwashing of the critical race theory, the brainwashing of the transgenderism, like
Mhm.
the kids are so open
Right.
that you have to be very careful with what
Yep.
you're teaching them. I mean, these kids that are being taught that Marxism is good and socialism is good, like when they start, you know, fighting to create that socialism and that, you know, whatever, you know, environment they're in, they believe it in their heart because they've been taught it as a child.
Yeah.
You know, and so I want to do the opposite. I want to teach these kids that love and connection is the answer.
Yes.
You know, peace is the answer. Like, you know, what does that look like? What does it feel like? Feel it in your heart, feel it in your bones. Like,
Exactly.
how do we do conflict resolution? You
Mhm.
know, we had a fight at our school a few months ago and we stopped the entire grade, which was 5th grade, and we did conflict resolution for 3 days.
Wow.
Like, schools
my
don't
God.
do that. They sweep things under the rug. They're like, all right, on to the next.
Yep.
And that's, you know, that you're missing out on the most important part of school, which is the social emotional part of it.
That's
It's
so
the
beautiful.
opportunity to learn on the fly.
Mhm.
And every lesson is a learning lesson, a learning opportunity.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very interesting. And just to see, like, you know, I'm sure, you know, when we opened in September 2020, you know, we didn't mandate masks. We
Mhm.
didn't put plexiglass. We didn't socially distance
Right.
these kids. I mean, I didn't do any of that nonsense. I was like, this is ludicrous. I'm not doing it. I need to put my head on the pillow at night knowing I'm doing what's right for these kids.
Mhm.
We took a lot of heat for it, but if I had to go back and redo it, I would redo it again in a heartbeat, because at least I know that my mind and my soul, like, did the right thing for these kids.
Yep.
You know, the idea that I would muzzle a kid because somebody told me to
Yeah.
is no different than what, you know, the people did in Germany, all these horrific things to the Jews because they were told to do it.
Exactly.
No, how about no?
Yep.
How about no? I'm not going to do it, and you're not going to make me do it.
I love it.
You
I
know?
love it. Yeah, absolutely. We were on the same page since day one. Were there
Yeah.
any parents that gave pushback with that at all?
Oh, whew. Of course. Yes. Think about it.
Yeah.
Our world is
Yeah.
so divided. Well, I
Yeah.
had plenty of parents angry with me. How dare I allow other kids to breathe fresh oxygen?
It's insane. That's a tough position for you to be in, but
Hey,
you
you know
stuck to
what?
you believe.
It was the fight that I was chosen to fight.
Exactly.
And all I could say is, look, we're in a free country still. While we're still free, while we are a still free country, maybe you want to go to a different school.
Can't imagine how much you had to deal with all the students, the families, this and that, but I'm just so thankful there's people like you that will stand up. I mean, especially in a school system, they were going nuts.
Nuts.
My nephew wasn't even allowed to high five his friend if they were walking past him by in the hallway. He had to sit at a lunch table with a kid he didn't know, him on one side, the other kid on the other, and they weren't allowed to even talk to each other. Like, was that not child abuse, what they were doing?
That was 1000% child abuse. That's what they do to prisoners in jail.
Right. Right.
That's how they beat them down, by not allowing them to socially interact.
Mhm.
And they did that in Florida, right here in Florida, public schools.
Mhm.
I have friends that have their kids at public schools, and they're like, Leila, they can't talk to each other during lunch. They have to actually watch
my
TV. They made them watch TV during lunch.
I'll never get past that. And I don't understand how the whole world was tricked into believing all of the hoopla.
No, I don't either. I keep saying to people that one day this is going to go down as
Yeah.
way worse than anything that was ever done. Way worse because it was a global event.
Exactly.
It wasn't isolated
Exactly.
to one country.
Mm-hmm.
This was a global event where parties across the globe are all guilty of the biggest crimes against humanity.
Mhm.
And so many professions, the education sector, the medical
Yeah.
sector. I mean,
Police, everything. It trickles down to everything. How many police prosecuted
everything.
people were beating people in the streets in all different countries all over the place. Everything. It's like,
Police, judges, you name it.
yep. That's amazing, Jewel. Like how amazing is that? I am just blown away. She is such a beautiful person. What? I'm like, can I go to your school? Can I go to your school? I'll start in kindergarten, honestly. That's what I got to do. I got to be involved with her school. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. I love you. Yep. Boom, done. I don't know if I have any really bloopers today.